Hey fashion lovers, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful asymmetric neck blouse with one side kimono sleeve and sleeveless on the other side. It also have side drawstring. It's a beginner friendly tutorial. If this is something you love to learn, please watch the video until the end to create the same blouse. Don't forget to like, leave a comment and subscribe for more videos. Thank you. Let's dive right into the tutorial. We are using 1 yard of fabric, any silk fabric of choice. We have our pattern paper. Then the pattern paper you fold into two. Like you take a long pattern paper, you fold it into two just to give two folds, like unfold, just the way I'm folding it, to have it as two, not one. Then your fold side, you mark your starting line, which would be our shoulder line, like so. You can do 1 inch or half an inch. You mark like this, just the way I'm marking it. Then on the unfold parts, you measure your chest line from the shoulder point to your chest line. That's your bust line. This I'm having is 9. So I measure 9. Take it to the other side. I measure 9 also. Then make a straight through connecting the points together. Just like this. And make a straight through like so. So after this, you measure from your shoulder line down to your half length. The measurement I'm using is 17. So I measure 17. Take it down again 17 inches and connect the two lines with a straight rule like this, like so. So after getting this, after you measure your top length, shoulder to your length, which is I'm using 24. You can use any length of choice. 24. So I measure the 24 down, 24. Then I'll connect with a straight rule down to the other side. Connect straight down to the other side. So after connecting that, we want to work on the shoulder line. So I'll do shoulder divided by 2, and my shoulder is 14. 14 divided by 2 will give us 15. Sorry, 15 divided by 2 will give us 7.5. So I measure the 7.5 like so. 7.5. Then after measuring the 7.5, we've gotten the 7.5. So we need to extend to get to have our sleeve. So I'm adding 6 inches for the sleeve from the shoulder divided by, which is 14. Then sleeve, add 6 inches to it, which is like this. I'm adding to 6 inches, 7.5 plus 6 inch, altogether making it 13.5, I guess. Then what you have here, you measure your bust divided by 4 plus, well, yes, bust divided by 4, which gives us 10. 10. Then add to half of an inch for ease. Then 3/4 of an inch. You can do 1 inch for sewing allowance. You can do 1 inch, but I'm doing 3/4 of an inch. Then after this, you measure what you have on the shoulder line all together. You put it on the bust line also. So let's measure. I have 13.5 on the shoulder line. So I'll impute that same measurement on the bust line also, which I am doing like this. So I measure 13.5, then connect the lines from shoulder line to the bust line, just like this, like the armhole. But if you want your shoulder to be and your sleeve to be wider, you can go down, measure your round sleeve, then go down by what you have. Then the waistline, I measure my waist divided by 4, which is 8.5, plus half an inch ease allowance, plus 3/4 sewing allowance. Then what I have on my hip line, I measure the hip divided by 4 also, which is 42 divided by 4 will give us 10.5. 10.5, I measure the 10.5, then add half an inch ease allowance on it, like so. Then 3/4 of an inch also sewing allowance, just like this. So like this, now we've gotten our shoulder, then the bust line measurement, waistline measurement, and the hip measurement. So what we'll do now is to connect the lines together like so. So you take your straight rule, connect from the bust line to the waistline, just the way I'm doing it like this. Then with a curve, you connect the waistline to the hip line, just the way I'm doing it. So yeah, like so. Okay. So after you've done this, we need to make a curve on the armhole area. So from this point, you go down by half an inch or 1 inch. Half an inch, or you go down by 1 inch. So I'm doing 1 inch here. So I go down by 1 inch, I mark the 1 inch. Mark a point there with a 1 inch like so. Then with a curve rule, I connect the point from the arm and the sleeve length to meet the waist area. Just figure out the way to connect the points together, just to have this blended curve on the armhole region like so. Yeah, perfect curve. So after we've done this, we've gotten the shape of the kimono sleeve and the top. So what we'll do now, you go up by 1 inch on the hip area like so, the way I'm doing it. Then you connect with the curve back to the top, just like so. Okay, so after this, we've gotten the shape like that. Then we'll come back to the shoulder area. So we'll measure our shoulder divided by 4, which we have already 7.5. Then we'll measure our normal shoulder, our normal neckline, which is 3.5. Our basic neckline, the 3.5 neckline, like so. You mark the line, then make sure you have a point here, which will have the shoulder of the other one with the sleeveless. Then after which you connect what you have on the shoulder line, put it down on the bust line, which is 7.5, to give a straight rule for the armhole. You create it, then you connect with a straight rule like this, the 2 points together. Then on the shoulder, the sleeve length, you go down by 1.5, then connect to the shoulder line. But before you connect, you go in, before you connect like so here. But before you connect it, you go in on the armhole line by half of an inch like this. Yeah, half of an inch like so. Then you connect the points meeting the 1.5 inch you came down from the sleeve length. Connect like so. You're having it point like so. Then you create the armhole from that half an inch you went in down to the bust line, just like this with a curve. But before you do that, measure your armhole line like this. Divide what you have, you divide by 2 and mark a point there. Then go in by half of an inch just to create a curve for the armhole, because we have one sleeveless side and the kimono side. So you create a curve like so, just the way I'm doing it. Place a curve like this and create the curve. Yeah, mark the curve like so down to that half an inch you went in on the shoulder line. So like this, we've gotten the armhole for the sleeveless parts. So what we do now is we make sure you mark that point on the shoulder which you having on the shoulder length which you have on the sleeveless part. Make sure you mark that point because we'll be needing it later. So what you do now is to cut out. Let's cut out. So I'm done cutting out the pattern. So what to do now is to you open the pattern like so. You open the pattern, spread the pattern open like just the way I'm doing it. You see the shoulder line that is very obvious. Just open the pattern, Then on the shoulder line, you see the shoulder line which we measured on the front side when we kept it on fold. So mark the line open like so. Just make a point on the line with your pencil. Then from the sleeve line of the kimono, go in by 3 inch from the sleeve line. Measure from the sleeve line just the way I'm doing it. I'm sorry the camera could not capture that area, but the way I'm doing it, from the sleeve line, measure from the sleeve line upward as if you're facing the shoulder line, and the shoulder 3 inches. So you measure the 3 inches. Make sure you mark a point that will identify there's a line there. So you mark your center front of the top also. Then you make a rule connecting that from the center point to that line you have on the other side, which you'll be having the opening on the other side of the kimono sleeve. Then you cut out. You cut out like so. Okay. So we've gotten it out. So we've gotten the kimono side. Now we want to work on the sleeveless side. So on the sleeveless side, we have the sleeveless, and we have there's a little pleats on the shoulder. So what we do is to extend the line with 1 inch, just the way I'm doing it, out from the shoulder, the armhole line. Then by the time we pleat it back, we are having it same thing as what we have on our shoulder. Yeah, just like this. By the time you pleat one, you pleat two to make sure it's 1 inch, then you connect back to the armhole. By the time you take it back to the armhole. So let's create the armhole. Yeah, leaving the 1 inch on the shoulder side. You connect like this, back, sorry, like this, back to the 1 inch which you came out on the shoulder side, like so. By the time we pleat it back, it will give us the same shoulder length, the armhole. Yeah. So what you do now is to cut out. So if you are cutting out, cut out in the shape of the armhole, just the way I'm doing it. Just watch it and do it just the way I'm doing it. Cut it out like this. You cut out like so. Make sure you cut on the 1 inch you came out, not on the original sleeve armhole line. The 1 inch you came out from. Yeah, this is how you cut it. So we've gotten the sleeve shoulder for the sleeveless part. So when you fold like this, you fold the pleat, you are still having the same shoulder of what we have at first before we added the 1 inch. So what we'll do now is to cut out on fabric. So we have to cut it out on fabric. So I have the fabric like so. I'll fold into two, the right side facing the right side of the fabric. So when you face like this, you fold the right side facing the right side, just the way I'm doing it like so. Make sure you check here the right side facing the right side, and you put back and place your pattern on it. You place your pattern like so, then yes, just like so. So what you do is, after placing your pattern like this, you add you don't need allowance on the side because we added on the pattern paper already, so you don't need on the side. What you do is armhole, you need half an inch on the armhole side. Then the upper side, we're adding 1 inch on the upper side because I'm not folding, I'm doing a little facing inside to give the perfect, I love seeing that finishing, not the line of the sewing. Like I don't want to say the line, I just fold to take in little facing from the neck part. So you'll see how I'll do that shortly. Then the 1 inch on the down, you cut out. You add 1 inch on the down part like this. You just cut the 1 inch, cut through the 1 inch like so. Then the side, you don't need to add any allowance. On the armhole region, you add your half an inch, just the way I'm doing it, like so, just like so. Make sure you arrange it so, because I didn't pin. If you are placing your pattern, make sure you pin on the pattern. Make sure you pin the pattern or put an heavy stuff so it won't shift. Mine was shifting because the fabric itself was shaking. So on the upper part, you add your 1 inch allowance on the upper part. Then you cut out just the way I'm cutting out, like this. You cut like so. So make sure you place the pattern well. Yeah, just like this. So you have a I don't know how to put it. So you just figure out how to that your allowances are correct and all that. So what else to do? What you need to do else is to, you see the notch, the line we have there, you notch it on the shoulder. That's to notch that you have the shoulder on that area. You need to notch it to make sure you know that, oh, this is where my shoulder is starting from. So after which you notch the other side too. Sorry, it's not showing, but make sure you notch that same side you added. You mark the line where your 3 inch from the sleeve part, you notch that side too. You go down by the 1 inch which you kept as allowance. 1 inch, you just notch it almost close to the 1 inch. So after that, we're having the neckline just like this. You have it like so. You have to arrange it. You have it like this, and make sure you fold it. Then the armhole, you pleat. You see the way I'm pleating it? You pleat 2 pleats. I think 2 pleats, or you can do gathers, is what you want. You can add gathers or make a pleat. So I'm doing a pleat. I'm adding a pleat. So I make a pleat, 2 pleats, just to go back to my normal shoulder. I had to pin it down like so. Yeah, pin the other one also, just the way I'm doing it. So after which I've done this, now I'll be doing it on the other side also. Then the armhole region will just create a bias strip for to cover the armhole up, but with time I'll show you when it's time. The side also close by your 3/4 inch. Fold the down parts, but we'll do it in a step by step. Just watch. Then the side also fold, then taking 1 inch from the shoulder. Remember we added 1 inch on the shoulder of the kimono side, just the shoulder. Remember we added 1 inch. This is why we added 1 inch, because I'll be folding it in like this. I'll fold it in on the 2 sides, then press on both sides like so, the way I'm placing it. I'll fold it in like this. Yeah, like so. Then I'll press it down. So it's up to you. You can fold it and sew, but me, I prefer placing it like this, then iron. I can use hemming stay to stay iron it together, but I like facing it like that. And sew the shoulder, then the sleeve, the other side of the shoulder, you join them together. So let me do that and come back. So after this, we've gotten it. I've gone ahead to sew the shoulder, which you see the pleats now. Then the other side also, we're having the neckline. You see the way I did it? I folded it inside, then iron. So there's no sewing. I didn't stitch on top of it. I just made it as a little facing, 1 inch facing, just to give this knitting part without sewing lines. I don't want to see any sewing lines. So then you see the lines open like the neckline, then the shoulder. But what you do next is to bias the armhole. Yes, like so. So what I did, I made a long strip of 1.5 inches. Then I placed it like, see, facing the right side facing the right side, sew through, then flip back again, just like the bias way. You sew like just the bias. So after which I will turn, then close fold the sleeve area of the kimono, which I added 1 inch already as the allowance. I'll fold into two, half an inch, then stitch straight. Then I'll close the side. I'll close the side just like this, like the way I'm doing it. I'll close the side by 1/4 inch, which I added to the sewing allowance when I was drafting the pattern. Let me do this and come back. So after sewing it, I have this. I went ahead to to fold the down part, the armhole with bias. I bias the armhole line. Then the shoulder line also is already sewn. Then the sleeve bicep side, then the side. I had to sew the side. I didn't complete the other side. That's the sleeveless part. I did not close that side because I want to create the drawstring casing, yeah, before closing the other side. So what I did was on the side line, I had to make it cut. I made an opening. We need to make an opening on the sideline so that we can fold in the casing. So you need to cut out, determine how long you want your drawstring case, then you open, just slit open. Make sure you don't get close to the stitch, that's the same line. Then you open like so, just the way I opened it, like this. You just open on your, yes, so you have open like this. Make sure you iron press on it, then fold, press on it just to open it wide so you can have easy way of sewing. Then on the other side you fold like so, just fold in 1/4 of an inch, or depend on how your strip is long. Then you fold on the other side. When sewing, make sure you open the fabric so it won't gather on the front side. So after that, I made a long strip of 1.5, then I folded it. I'll place like this. If you like, you can place it like this to sew on top, or you close the casing, then fix round out, bring it out to the other side just to connect it. So anyone that works for you. So I'll go now to close the casing and come back, then close the side also, then I'll bring back to see how it looks like. So we've gotten the casing part. I cased it, I fixed the rope already. So this is what we have. This is the other side which I closed also. Then the sleeveless side, we have the shoulder side, which I told you I was not going to sew. I'll just weave, then close with hemming stay. Then we have the sleeve of the kimono, and when you draw the string, you're having the ruching on the other side as the kimono sleeve side. You have the ruching, and this is the top. I don't know, it looks, this is so beautiful. So I know you will love to make this. Just, you see how it's very easy to make, not difficult. So you see, you just connect the lines, you see the top, you arrange it, the shoulder is straight and no line. You will see any same line on the front side apart from the armhole side and the kimono sleeve side. So we've come to the end of the video. So let's place this on the strap side. You see it like this, and you just arrange it and see your shoulder looking so beautiful. See the side like so. Yeah, you see the curve area. So let's put it on the mannequin and see the outcome. So I've placed it, I went ahead to put it on the mannequin. So this is how it's looking. You see the one side of kimono, the sleeveless part, and we have the ruched area, the top length and all that. So I don't know, if you find this useful, please do it to give us a thumb up and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you for watching this, and see you on our next video. Thank you so much.